Hi there, Loy Machedo speaking here from LoyMachedo.com, Loy Machedo TV. The book review is going to be delivered from Distraction by Edward M. Hallowell and John Ratey. So, both it seems were ADHD cases. Now, before I move into the actual book review, consider these names, okay? You have Abraham Lincoln, Agatha, Christie, Albert Einstein, Alexander Graham Bell, Beethoven, Cher, Dustin Hoffman, Ernest, Hemingway, Isaac Newton, John Kennedy, Leonardo da Vinci, Lewis Carroll, Michael Jordan, Mozart, Ozzy Osbourne, Robert Kennedy, Robin Williams, then Salvador, Dali, the Wright brothers, Walt Disney, Whoopi Goldberg, Will Smith, and Winston Churchill. Obviously, you know that I've read it alphabetically, and also these are very big names. So what is so common about all of them? Well, they have ADHD. And another famous person who I forgot to mention over there is myself. Yes. So we all have ADHD. Now, what is ADHD? ADHD is Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder. Now, this sounds like a mental problem, okay? 3 years ago, when I was diagnosed with ADHD, thanks to observations by a psychiatrist who was a good friend, he kind of, just broke it out to me. Listen, you have ADHD, okay? Now, what happened was I was stunned, I was shocked, but, outwardly, I was like, oh, okay, I have ADHD. But inside, I was absolutely confused. I mean, when I went back home, it settled in and I was depressed. I started to cry because I thought I had some disease, something was going up my brains, and I just thought maybe I was going to be abnormal or mental. But post 3 years from that very day, after taking those stupid medicines, and I got rid of it after 3-4 months because it made me like a vegetable, I would say that, I'm grateful for the fact that there is the internet, there is Google today. So I could actually search and find out that, it's not as bad as people make it sound to be. And that is where I want to share with you some bits of information on what exactly is ADHD. Now, ADHD or Attention Deficit Hyperactive Disorder is, it's like having a very fast brain. The descriptions given here is it's like having a race car of a brain, a powerful, fantastic, really fast, very creative brain, a brain that is great at solving problems, very creative, very artistic in nature. It has exceptional potential. Then it gets bored and distracted with boring stuff, but it wants something that is interesting, and it has to be kept challenged all the while. It needs to avoid being sucked into the day-to-day stuff. It wants something really out of the world. So this is an ADHD brain. I wish someone had told me this, because had they told me, or had they told my parents, they would have treated me differently, because I was literally beaten and abused by my family because they thought I was mentally retarded, or they thought I was crazy, I was restless, I was not a child who could, be kept in control. So the more they tried, the more stronger I became, to tell you honestly. See, some of the signs of ADHD, obviously one signs. The children or the people are always in motion. They're very fidgety. They forget minor details. They forget things. They have to switch from one thing to another, one task to another. Very impatient. They talk a lot. They listen less. They just blurt out whatever they want to say. They don't care a damn. They have their own opinions. They keep dashing around. They have to keep touching. They have to keep playing around. They daydream. Then they're very fidgety. They cannot sit and focus on one task for more than 2 or 3 minutes. Then they have trouble organizing stuff. They have trouble paying attention. They cannot, focus on one task. Even when they're talking, they'll talk on one topic, then move to another, even before completing the first one. Then they just have trouble sitting in one place. They don't seem to want to listen when they're spoken to. Some of them have these habits of compulsive eating. Some like sweets, some like drugs, some like smoking, drinking. Even sometimes the sex also can be a kind of an addiction, so to speak. Then if someone who appears slower than them, they seem disinterested, they get irritated very fast, and in some cases they tend to be disruptive, impulsive, unresponsive, careless. They struggle to follow instructions, they don't want to follow rules, and they can talk non-stop. Obviously, you're looking at me because I'm ADHD, I'm a classic ADHD. So the thing was, we don't conform, we don't fit into the box how other people expect us to be. So people judge us. Now, for those who are ADHD, let me tell you, you're incredible the way that you are, because we tend to stand out. And yes, you can make out from my tattoos, but even those people who don't have tattoos, you can make out that they stand out because they have these traits. Now, Delivered from Distraction fulfills all these criteria of educating you as to how to deal with ADHD, both in children as well as adults. I really, really like this book very, very much. I listened to it twice, and I highly recommend it to anyone. In fact, I've given it a 9 out of 10. Why 1 is missing is because I wish I'd given more information. So please, if there was one book that I would recommend for parents having ADHD or hyperactive children, this is the book you must buy. In fact, give it as a gift for someone who has an ADHD child. I would say it makes a world of difference. So overall, this is Loy Machedo recommending this book, Delivered from Distraction by Edward M. Hallowell and John Ratey. So please buy this book. It did me a world of good. I wish I had read this book earlier, because I highly recommend it. Thank you very much for watching. Loy from LoyMachedo.com and Loy Machedo TV saying goodbye for now.